Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone here for our first Harl Pease Day in a long time. We've got Roland Bixby here, who has written a book on the life of Harl Pease, and after this brief speech we'll be going up to the library to have refreshments at the Pease Library, which is named after the Pease family from the funding of Charlotte Pease, if I'm correct. So Roland, I'd love to have you say a few words on the life of Harl Pease.
Morning. The world knows little of its greatest heroes. Patriotism is nowhere better illustrated than in the life of Harl Pease Jr. He was destined to be the town's most highly decorated veteran and unarguably the state's most stellar World War II hero. Harl Pease's ancestral grandfather was Plumber Fox, one of the town's most visible citizens and successful businessmen. His daughter Betsy Fox was town librarian and organist for many years at the White Church on the Common. She married Harl Pease Sr., proprietor of the Pease Motor Sales on the Fox Block across from the Subway Food Market. Harl Jr. attended the local schools, graduating from the old Plymouth High School here in 1934. While there, he was a strong member of the athletic program, the drama department, and the high school band. Thereafter, he attended the University of New Hampshire at Durham, majoring in business and graduating in the year 1939. Local Bob Rand, father of Steve Rand, was always the closest friend of Harl Pease, and that camaraderie lasted all through the years. He told us Harl Pease, as a young man, was a high achiever, a born risk-taker, and that is, most folks sensed his accomplishments in life would somehow be both spectacular and promising, perhaps even incredible. Many had that feeling about him. Bob Rand further told us there was something of a freshness and an unmistakable uniqueness about the young man Harl Pease. Thus, early in life, we find him having been an impressive and signal figure on the Plymouth scene. Little did Bob Rand or anybody else know this young man would become Plymouth's New Hampshire military claim to fame. Today, August 7th, it is Harl Pease for whom the bells toll. Rain or snow or gloom of night, he was always 100% there, whether in the high school sports program, drama, music, or in the classroom. Some said he seemed like a fast express train going somewhere. As with his Fox ancestors, Harl evidenced early inclination to succeed, to become a rising star. Mother Destiny obviously had special plans for his life, as we have now, looking back, been able plainly to see. Harl Pease had joined the military in 1939, soon after his college graduation. By 1941, he was fully trained as a B-17 pilot and was hurriedly ferrying bombers across the Pacific to the Philippines. Incidentally, he was at Clark Field near Pearl Harbor when the major assault came. Harl Pease was promoted to captain, and with only a small glimmer of hope, the 19th Bomb Group resolved to persist in bombing the two giant airfields at Rabaul. With combative grimness, they flew mission after mission, some planes returning to the base with over 1,000 bullet holes in the plane. In due time, the Japanese advance began to stagger and nearly came to a stop. A major bombing mission was scheduled for August 7th, which is today. Harl Pease was away at the time on another assignment and only returned after the group had left. His own plane was by now totally disabled. Suddenly, he had both an idea as well as an adrenaline rush. He would try to repair another disabled plane during the night and gather a volunteer crew to join the 19th Group in New Guinea. For the next 10 hours, they worked feverishly, getting only 3 hours of sleep. Leaving early the next morning, they caught up with their group in New Guinea and all headed for Rabaul. There it was that the Harl Pease group caught the Japanese unawares and destroyed some 75 Japanese airplanes on the ground and several in the air. His finest hour. On the return trip, his motors failed and he was soon surrounded with the Japanese Zeros. Zeros on the right, zeros on the left, zeros ahead, and zeros after. The last group of his friends in the 19th saw him and his plane going down in a fire. A strong knock on the door of the Plymouth Pease family home at 4 a.m. told them the worst of news. Harl Pease was missing in action. His mother was inconsolable, and her sadness was compounded by the lack of further news. Harl had recently written his mother and said, "I long to see you, mother." Hers, they said, was a flood of tears, and the family was utterly and totally devastated. 5 months later, Bessie and Harl Pease Sr. were called to Washington to receive their son's Congressional Medal of Honor, personally presented by President Roosevelt. That was the winter of their discontent. They hoped against hope, but no word came to them and never did. Instantly, the name Harl Pease received national celebrity status. He had earlier wowed his high school classmates, he had wowed his men of the 19th, and now he had wowed the President of the United States. His name arriving at the very pedestal of popularity. His path to duty had been his way to glory. Military heads everywhere spoke admiringly of Harl Pease, saying he was the best flyer the military had. Today, no name in the town of Plymouth breathes a more storied eminence. It has been said that the people only die when we forget them. Today we resign Harl Pease not to forgetfulness and death, but to a blessed memory, an unclouded reputation, and a limitless life. His fame continues to cast a long and moving shadow of which we must all be proud. The Pease family left $250,000 to the White Church, the same for the new hospital wing, the same for the new Pease Library, as well as donating Fox Park to the town of Plymouth. Thus they have become perhaps the town's greatest benefactors. In conclusion, someone aptly said of Captain Harl Pease, "We are poorer by his death, but richer by his life." And as the pride of Plymouth, we honor him on this Harl Pease Day, as decreed by Governor Craig Benson in 2004. Of this hero and his family, Plymouth shall ever be proud. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Roland Bixby. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And our Executive Council member, Ray Burton, will be joining us later on today at the library where refreshments are waiting. So if you'd all join us there, I'd appreciate it. Okay.